Good morning, all of you. I'm sure all of you have had a very good night's sleep, and now I think you are in this little bit of panic mode as to paper one. I've done, reasonably well, but what about paper two, right? How is this going? Am I getting that required marks to meet the cutoff or not, right? So right now, today on this very bright morning, I'm sure not all of you are like in this mood to go back to studying, open your books and everything. But nevertheless, okay, I am also sure that all of you are very eager to at least check whether your answers are somewhat matching or not, right? So that is why we present part one of this paper two discussion, wherein I will be discussing the environment questions of paper 2 of the KPSC Gazetted Probationers exam. Okay, so I hope all of you have done all these questions well. It was a very fairly reasonably easy questions only. So we'll try to see what are the answers. Okay, we'll not go very deep into the explanations, but more or less we'll see what could have been the approach, how we have to go about the questions, what are the answers, right? So without much ado, let's start. So the first question, or rather the fourth question in environment, it tells that the Karnataka State Wildlife Board is headed by. Okay, so who heads this? See, there is in the national level, there is something called National Board for Wildlife. Okay, it's called NBW, National Board for Wildlife. Who heads the National Board for Wildlife? It is the Prime Minister. So in this case, who would head the Karnataka State Wildlife Board? It will be the Chief Minister. Okay. So very direct question, right? So this is the answer. Answer is 1. Okay. Next. Which one of the following sources of irrigation contributes to the highest percentage share of the net irrigated area in Karnataka? Okay, so when we talk about this, we see that in terms of irrigation, okay, there have been, I think 2 or 3 questions about irrigation specifically. Okay, so when we talk about these 4, all these 4 are sources of irrigation only. Okay, wherein canal irrigation, if we see, it is 7%. Okay, tank irrigation, when we talk about tank irrigation, that is 25%. Okay, 25% of the total thing is tank irrigation itself. Okay, and tube well or bore irrigation, that's another 25%. So how much would the remaining percentage be? 25%, 25% is 50%. Another 7% is 57%. Okay, so the remaining around 42.75%, this is well irrigation. So well irrigation being the highest, so this would be the answer. Answer is 3, right? Next. How many of the following statement or statements are correct about jinkering or living root bridges? Okay, so I think in 2013 there was a question about in UPSC about this living root bridges. So you see the importance of UPSC's reflection in KPSC, right? So where would the living root bridges be? It will obviously be in Meghalaya. So the fact that they're given Andaman Islands, that will be a wrong statement, right? So this will go wrong. This is Meghalaya. Once you know this, you know that Jarawa tribes, okay, Jarawa tribes live in Andaman. Who are the tribes who live in, Meghalaya? Meghalaya, these 3 hills, right? Garo, Khasi, Jaintia. So here also, these bridges are being created by Khasi and Jaintia tribes. Okay. So with this particular knowledge, we see that everything else about the statement is correct. Just that the name of the tribes itself is changed. Okay. So in this case, this will also go wrong. What is correct is that the third one is correct. That the locals use these bridges as ladders, steps, and it also provides a reliable mode of transportation, especially during the monsoon season. So answer is only 1. Okay. Next is about this. which one of the following statements are correct about the special operations of Wildlife Crime Control Bureau? And this being a statutory body, under which act was it established under? This was established under Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Okay. So there is a little bit about Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. But this Wildlife Crime Control Bureau, being a statutory body, having been established by Wildlife Protection Act 1972, it carries out certain special operations. There are so many operations. Like for example, one of them is Operation Soft Gold. Okay, there is a Tibetan antelope called as this shatush, right? So this shatush, whatever wool it gives, okay, there is a lot of illegal trade about this because it's very soft wool. So to stop this menace of this trading of this wool and exploiting this animal, there is Operation Soft Gold. Okay, so the very word soft itself is the hint for it, right? So this is correct. Next one, Operation Wildnet aims to stop the illegal sale of wildlife animals online. Okay, so basically whatever e-commerce, there is some trading of animals, if there is any ad or anything, immediately Operation Wildnet is that particular operation which immediately springs to action. If any ad is there, immediately they try to go and catch that particular person who's posted the ad, because he's trading with animals, which is something which is illegal, right? In Wildlife Protection Act, you have all these schedules wherein you're not supposed to trade. Okay. Next one is Operation Birbal aims to inspect the illegal trade of turtles. Okay, turtle trade. So this is wrong. Why is this wrong? Because it is Operation Save Kurma. Kurma means, don't think that what you eat with dosa. No, not that kurma. Kurma is Kurma avatar. That is Vishnu's avatar of a tortoise, right? So that is Kurma avatar. So Operation Save Kurma is about saving olive ridley turtles. So this particular statement will go wrong. Okay, Operation Birbal is about the trade in wild cats, illegal trade in wild cats and wild birds, wild cats and wild birds. Okay, so what would be the answer? Answer would be second option, A and B. Okay. Next, Pantanal. Okay, very famous question, it keeps getting asked. Pantanal is one of the largest tropical wetland, most pristine in the world. It sprawls across 3 South American countries. What are these countries? Okay, so once you get this question, largest wetland in the world, it is the largest wetland in the world. It is a grassland which is flooded by water. Okay, it is one of the largest reservoirs of methane. Okay, so much of methane is stored over here. So many biodiversity, large megafauna, flora, everything is over in this particular place. Now, where is this spread across? So when they ask this question about South America, you have to know that Brazil, anything would be there in Brazil, and Brazil has 2 options, right? So next thing you have to look for is, where would a wetland be present? Okay, what is the climatic condition which would be favorable to this? Okay, so the answer for this is Brazil, Bolivia and Paraguay. Okay, so answer is D, right? Next one, how many of the following are marine mammals? Okay, very interesting question. Okay, so they had once asked about very similar question in UPSC somewhere in 2015. So again, you see that this is a reflection of that particular question. So in anyways, the option list has been a little elaborated in KPSC traditional OG style, but nevertheless, we will see what is the answer. Okay, so you see that, is dolphin a marine mammal? Yes, dolphin, it normally breathes not through a regular fish, okay, not through gills, but it has a separate organ to breathe. Okay, so it is a marine mammal. Next one is walrus a marine mammal? It is a marine mammal. Okay, is seahorse a marine mammal? No, seahorse is not a marine mammal. In fact, seahorse is one of those species where a male can reproduce to a young one, right? Next, porpoise is a marine mammal. Dugong, which is also called as sea cow, right? So this is also a marine mammal. Shark is a fish. Okay, so it's not a marine mammal. Is seal a marine mammal? Yes, it is. So the answer for this is only 5. So there are 5 options here which talk and tell that they are marine mammals. Okay. Next. Consider the following statements about Compensatory Afforestation Fund Act. Okay. The Act provides for the establishment of a fund under the Contingency Fund of India. Okay. So, what is a Compensatory Afforestation Fund? Okay, see, compensatory afforestation means that, let's imagine that you want to build a factory, right? When you have to build a factory, what is going to happen? You will obviously clear that particular patch of a forest, okay, and then you will tell that, don't worry, I will build a factory here, but whatever trees were there over here, I will plant new saplings in some other place. So don't take any tension. But the government will ask that, see, you have cut really big trees which were there for 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. You are planting saplings which are 2 days old. Now, will this 2 days old sapling give the same forest services as the plants which were there for 200 years? Okay. Will it give you? No, it will not give the same ecological services. It will not give the same forest services. The amount of birds, the amount of insects, the amount of oxygen it was producing, it can't be compared. So you do one thing, you give us some money in a fund which is called as Compensatory Afforestation Fund, which is called as CAMPA. In the state it will be SAMPA, in the central it will be CAMPA, right? So in this money which you will give, we will use it to do green projects. So this is the idea. Now this fund, will it be under Consolidated Fund of India, Contingency Fund of India, or Public Accounts of India? It will be under not Contingency Fund of India, it will be under Public Accounts of India, right? It will be under Public Accounts of India. The term net present value, okay? Okay, before this, one more statement. The Supreme Court, okay? Now first statement will go wrong. What can we eliminate? A will go away, A will go away, A will go away. We've already got the answer, B and C. Okay, now we'll just verify, okay? The Supreme Court of India in T.N. Govardhan Tirumalpad case 2002 observed that compensatory afforestation be created. Yes, okay, this was a Supreme Court ruling in which they did say this. The term net present value is defined under this act. Yes, it is defined. Okay, so how do they define it? They tell that this net present value is nothing but quantification. Okay. Quantification of environmental services lost when forest land is diverted, for non-forestry use. Okay, so this is the answer. So answer is B. I hope that this is clear and there is no doubt here. Next. Okay. Consider the following about Neelakurunji flowers. How many times has this flower comes? I mean, how many times does this question come? So many times, right? Okay. It is a famed shrub found in Western Ghats, covering the slopes of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka only. You can see in KPSC, even in yesterday's paper, wherever this word only is there, All these times it has been a mistake only. Because Neelakurunji is definitely found in Western Ghats. Okay, it is definitely found in Tamil Nadu. It is definitely found in Karnataka. But it is also found in Kerala. It is also found where? It is also found in Kerala. So the first statement will go wrong. Once A goes away, this will go away. What is common? D is common. Okay. The flowers also extract bees that pollinate. It leads to a rare kind of honey. Yes, that's very true. It does lead to a rare kind of honey. Okay. Next. So now we have to choose between B and D or C and D. Okay. Now the flowers are said to grow at an altitude of less than 1300 meters and it blooms once in 12 years. Okay. Now 1300 meters is correct, 12 years is correct. But the problem lies in this word, less than. It is more than 1300 meters. Okay. And 250 variations and 46 variations are seen in India. This is correct. Okay. So the answer is C and D. That is, answer is 1. Okay. Is this clear? So 1 is the answer. Okay. You have to be very careful. Usually Neelakurunji means everybody knows it is 12 years. So they don't usually see anything else. They immediately go and they mark this. That is the trap here. Okay. On the face of it, on the surface of it, I am sure a lot of you people can relate. On the surface of it, this KPSC paper, it seems very easy. But the real thing is that there are so many of these subtle, small traps which are laid. And that is what makes this paper very difficult. That is what makes this paper very difficult to touch 100. Right? Anyways, next one. Passenger pigeon is an extinct species. Okay, yes, 100% it is correct. Passenger pigeon, some in 1900s only it was extinct. A species is said to be extinct when there is no more individual of that species alive anywhere in the world. That is also correct. But the question here is, it's an assertion and reasoning question. Okay, both of them are definitely correct. But how you have to solve these questions is, you have to add one magical word here. That magical word is because. Passenger pigeon is an extinct species because a species is said to be extinct when there is no more individuals of that species alive anywhere in the world. It doesn't make any sense, right? Why would a species be extinct, right? Because there will be so many reasons for it. Now, what could be the reasons? One, there could be hunting. Next one, there could be habitat change. Okay. The next one is fallacy of abundance. Okay. So, different non-implementation of laws. These could be reasons why a particular species is extinct. It's not that they just randomly give a definition of extinct and they tell that this is because of this. No, it doesn't make any sense. So the correct answer would be both assertion and reasoning are true, but whatever reason is there, that doesn't exactly explain the assertion. Okay, so answer is second. I hope that this is clear, no doubts. Okay. Next. N caves. Any doubts, guys? Sea cow, Gulf of Mannar, Nilgiri Range. Yes, Kerala also. Okay, fine. Next one, N caves. Okay, so they have told that N caves is one project which was launched in 2017. Then they have they've gone on to tell what it does. Okay, it aims to enhance knowledge, develop policy applications, okay, and environmental economic accounting. Basically, it's when you destroy a particular environment and when you try to build something, there is this concept of green accounting. So in green accounting, NCAVES is a very important concept, right? So I hope you are aware of this. Here they have just gone on to give the institutions. Which is the institution which implements it at international level? Which is the institution which implements it at national level? which is the institution which implements it at the state level. And in this case, all the three are correct. Okay, and because all the three are correct, answer is none of the above. That is the fourth option, none of the above. Because they are asking which of the statements are incorrect. All the statements are correct. Which is incorrect? Nothing is incorrect. So the answer is none of the above. Okay. Next. Indian leopard. Indian leopard is a nocturnal animal. Okay. So Indian leopard is a nocturnal animal. So the first option, this one, is correct. Okay. Next one, they are unique in the sense that female Indian leopards always weigh heavier than the male Indian leopards. See, there are two ways in which you can solve this particular statement. Okay, one, they are telling always weigh heavier than Indian male. Imagine that an Indian leopard is born and it is just born. One small baby, it's a male leopard. And one very big female leopard is there. Logically, will it make sense that will an Indian male leopard always be heavier than an Indian female leopard? No, right? So, in this case, this will be wrong. Otherwise, if I have to give you a technical word, it is generally said that Indian leopards are sexually dimorphic. Dimorphic means, okay, generally we see that males are more heavier than females. Okay, so in this case, the second statement is wrong. Third one, leopard safari was launched at Bannerghatta Biological Park. So this particular statement is correct. Indian leopard is classified as vulnerable in IUCN Red List. So this is also correct. Okay, in IUCN Red List, very important, leopard will come. Okay, so leopard, snow leopard, all of this. Okay, so vulnerable statement. So in this case, answer is three statements are correct. Okay, so this is the 50th question for you. Next one, 51st question. Global Resources Outlook 2024 was published by International Energy Agency. Okay, so Global Resources Outlook was not published by International Energy Agency. It was published by this organization. This organization called as International Resource Panel. International Resource Panel. So this International Resource Panel is part of UNEA, right? So the first one is wrong. If first one is wrong, A will go away. Okay, because they are asking correct only. Next one, Global Waste Management Outlook 2024 was published by UNEP and International Solid Waste Association. You can take a reasonable guess because what is the common option in both of them? CC is common. Living Planet report is definitely WWF. It is given biennially. Okay, this is also there. 100%. So C is there. We are in the right track. Now what happens? This B1, there is waste over here and there is waste over here. So you can take a reasonable guess telling that third one is correct. Okay, and it is also, both these statements are correct, right? WWF is an NGO, international NGO. Next. Okay, it's about national parks. Okay, now we'll see which national park falls where. First one is Mauling National Park. Where is Mauling National Park? I'm sure all of you know. Okay, it is in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, Arunachal Pradesh. So in this case, the first statement will go wrong. Okay, next one, Indar Kila. Okay, where is Indar Kila? Indar Kila is in Pradesh. Okay, Himachal Pradesh. So the second statement also goes wrong. Anshi, I am sure all of you know, there is no prizes for guessing. Definitely it is Karnataka. Okay. Then Mount Harriet National Park is not in Mizoram. Okay. It is in Andaman and Nicobar. Okay. So that is also there. Chandoli National Park is in Maharashtra. So this is correct. So how many pairs are correct? Only 2 pairs are correct. Okay. So this is the second statement. That is the answer for the 52nd question. Okay. Any doubts? Next. They have given a particular, uh, you know, they've given a particular explanation, and based on this explanation, okay, you have to give a particular answer for this particular explanation. What is this explanation? They've gone on to explain a particular falls here. Okay, they're telling that this particular waterfalls, it runs through the Brahmagiri hills. It is located in Kutta village of Kodagu. It is a stream of Lakshmana Tirtha river. It is also a sacred place. Okay, and the water jets, it runs from about 60 meters high. It finally joins the river Kaveri. There is a temple, famous temple, Shiva temple, which is also known as Rameshwara temple. And beyond this particular falls, this whole place is a wildlife sanctuary. So it's a restricted area. Which are they talking about? The answer, the correct answer for this is Irpu Falls. Okay, Irpu waterfalls. Many of you might have been confused that is it Abbe Falls or anything, but no, the answer for this is Irpu Falls. Okay, fine. Next one, they are talking about indicator species. What do you mean by indicator species? See, there are so many of these species, right? What are flagship species, pioneer species, all these things. So what is an indicator species? Indicator species means it gives you an indication if there is something wrong with the ecosystem. Okay, so it's almost like most of the species will be some or the other kind of indicator. So anyways, they are telling that crayfish, okay, is crayfish an indication that fresh water, because of the water acidity, is stressful to them? Yes, 100%. Okay, if crayfish are dying, they are not doing well, that means that it is an indication. So anyways, the first statement is correct. Okay, the health of corals can indicate that such seawater rise and sea temperature fluctuations are signals of climate change. How many times have we learned this, guys? Okay, while discussing about climate change, we usually tell, right, that when zooxanthellae are dying, it means that climate change is happening, ocean acidification is happening, global warming is happening, right? So that means that it's one of the best examples as an indicator species. Next one, peregrine falcons. Okay, so falcons means it's a bird of prey, right? So any falcon, you can see the example of the same vulture example only. Just like how vultures are dying out of this pesticide called diclofenac. Okay, similarly, peregrine falcons can also be much likely a possibility because of bioaccumulation and biomagnification, right? So this is also correct. Okay, so the answer for this is for all of the above. Okay, next. In India, the crop that accounts for the maximum share of pesticides. Okay, which of them accounts for the maximum share of pesticides? See, there are two species which account for maximum share of pesticides. One is cotton, second one is paddy. Cotton is not there in the option, paddy is there in the option. So paddy is the answer. Okay. Right. Next. This particular tribal community, it worships dairy buffaloes with a lot of veneration. Okay, veneration means they, with lot of faith, with lot of, religious belief, they are seen as pastoral tribe. And the buffaloes that roam the Nilgiri hills, this is a deadly giveaway. Nilgiri means thodas, right? Monogamy is an ideal form. There is one more thing. Then there is a particular GI tag which they have recently got also. So in all of this, it points out to one tribe. Which is that tribe? It is the Toda tribe. Okay, it is the Toda tribe. So recently for their embroidery work, okay, they have got GI tag also. And if you go to Ooty, and if you go to this Ooty Botanical Garden, you just climb up on top, you will see this huge Toda settlement. wherein you can see that their huts are, very unique. It is not normally found. So they are talking about the Toda tribe, right? Next one. Which of the following types of earthworms are litter feeder? Litter means what? Nothing but the foliage which is there. Andre ele ella enide kelgade biddaga ಮಣ್ಣು ಮೇಲೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. So they are asking which type of earthworm is a litter feeder. ಅದನ್ನ ಏನ್ ತಿನ್ನುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ತರ earthworm ತಿನ್ನುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. Okay. So even if you don't know, let me just tell you. See, there are three types of earthworms. One is called epigenic, endogenic, one more is called anegenic. So very simple. Our geography knowledge will only help us. Endo means what? It should be something which is inside, right? Exo means something which is outside, right? In this case, epi means something which is outside. So earthworms which stay on the top of the soil will eat the litter, right? So answer is epigenic. Endogenic earthworms are the ones which are inside the soil, and anegenic are the earthworms which live in the vertical cracks of the rocks. Okay, so answer is A. Okay. Right. Next. They have given some states and some Ramsar sites. They have asked us to, mix and match. Very easy question. Rudra Sagar, I might have told you in class also. Rudra. Rudra means you should imagine Trishul. What has three? Tripura. Okay, so Rudra, Tripura. So A is 2. A is 2, has 2 options in it. Okay, A is 2. After that, Sultanpur National Park. Sultanpur, like if you have seen Sultan movie of, Salman Khan, he'll be from Haryana, right? Okay, so Sultanpur is from Haryana. So just see C 1, anything with C is 1. We've already got the answer. Answer is C. Okay, now we'll just check. Pala is Mizoram. So D is 4. Okay, Bakira Wildlife Sanctuary, there is Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so Bakira is 3. So answer is C. Okay, I hope that there is no confusion here. Answer is C. Okay, fine. Next one. Okay, Kelp Forest. Okay, very interesting question. So I will tell you how I got it. So recently I started using one hair fall shampoo which was a kelp shampoo. Now on this bottle of this particular shampoo, they told that it has seaweeds. Kelp is nothing but seaweeds. Okay, so is it in montane forests? No, it is not in montane forests. Okay, it does thrive in cold temperature, that much is correct, but it's not a montane forest. It is a kind of ecosystem which lives in shallow waters. Okay, so first one goes wrong. Once the first statement is wrong, then pine, deodar, all of these are montane forests. They exist in boreal ecosystem or taiga ecosystem. They exist in boreal or taiga ecosystem. Okay, in this case, this also will go wrong. Okay, in kelp forest, you usually see that it can be either some large brown algae, seaweed. These will be the species in a kelp ecosystem. I hope that this is clear. So the answer for this is none of the above. Okay. Next, 72nd, consider the following statements about Blue Flag program. Okay, so Blue Flag program, I am sure all of you know, it is about beaches. Okay, it is about maintaining clean beaches. So who is in charge of this? Foundation of Environmental Education. Till here, this statement is correct. But where it goes wrong is headquartered in Nairobi, Kenya. Okay, so except UNEP, probably there is not a lot of organizations which are headquartered in Africa. So this much you have to know. So having said this, you see that this Blue Flag certification Foundation for Environmental Education, it is headquartered in Copenhagen. Okay, And because it is headquartered in Copenhagen, this first statement goes wrong. Next, after this, Kasarkod and Padubidri beaches are the blue flag certified beaches of Karnataka. This is 100% correct. Okay, these are the two beaches of Karnataka. Okay. Next, India has the highest number of blue flag certified beaches in the world. No ways, right? We definitely don't have anywhere close to the highest. Okay, see, India has 12 beaches. Okay. India has 12 beaches. Okay. How much does Spain have? It has 729 beaches. Okay. So Spain is very big compared to India. It has a lot more beaches which are clean. So in this case, this statement also goes wrong. So what would be the answer to this? Answer to this would be 2B only. Okay. Next. 80th question. Okay, this is the last question for our discussion. Which of the following statements is incorrect about Kasturirangan report? Okay, we all know from starting days of our preparation only that Kasturirangan committee report is about Western Ghats, right? It followed the Gadgil report. Gadgil report, they told that the whole ecosystem of Western Ghats should be preserved. There should not be any developmental activity, which was kind of a very radical environmental perspective. But Kasturirangan somehow found a balance. It came in 2012, right? So it was set up in 2010. Is this correct? Called as wildlife action. Wildlife, it was about Western Ghats, right? So first statement is definitely wrong. They are asking what? They are asking which is incorrect. So it will definitely have A and A. Is this clear? Next. The committee recommended the importance of involving local communities in environmental management, seeking a balance between development and conservation. See, even if the word Western Ghats is not explicitly maintained, you can imagine that definitely a committee report will talk about this, maintaining balance. All of this will definitely be there. Karnataka government supported the recommendation of this report. No, this is not correct. I think even 2-3 days back also in newspaper it was there that the Karnataka government rejected this particular report, right? After this committee's report, Gadgil report on Western Ghats was prepared. This is definitely wrong again because first Gadgil report came. Then in 2012, Kasturirangan report came. It submitted its report in 2013, right? So in this case, A, C, D, this is the answer, right? Third option. With this, we are done with the environmental section of the questions for paper 2. I hope that most of you have got these questions. Even though it was a little tricky, it was definitely doable. And I am telling it because I have also attended the exam and I know that it can be done, right? So having said this, now the time is, if you are getting anywhere close to 150, 160, okay, this is my very own personal, suggestion. 150, 160 combining both the papers, I would say start preparing for mains, okay? Because the more time you waste in this next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because you should not let that inertia. Right now you've been studying for prelims, that same just get into mains. If you miss this opportunity, if you miss this window, and again you let your mind cool down, again it will be very difficult for you to lift up. That warm-up phase is only going to take another 1 week. After you waste another 2 weeks, wherein lot of people who might be behind you will get ahead, if in case you clear. Worst case scenario, what will happen in case you don't clear? You would have not lost anything, right? So having said this, is there any doubts? Any doubts? Okay, thank you all. Okay, if you like this explanation and if you found your answers reflecting, please leave a thumbs up before you go, right? Thank you. Have a nice day.